an incredible night. I'm one of the new law fellows here at Public Advocates. My name is Latrell Powell. Thank you. Throughout the course of this night, I've been so nervous, looking forward to this moment, but just to be surrounded by you all, icons when it comes to racial justice, equity work, movement lawyering, community lawyering. It's just so humbling, and so it's with great honor that I get to stand here with Managing Attorney Richard Marcantonio of the Metropolitan Equity Team. And when we just think back over these past onerous, difficult, scary years, we all know that the pandemic made frontline essential workers a household term. We called them heroes, and rightfully so. They kept many of us who could work safely from home alive through the harrowing first months of the COVID pandemic. But too often, calling these heroes, it didn't really translate into action. It just led to unsafe working conditions, overwork due to staffing shortages, a lot of nightmares that only folks who are really on the front lines could see and describe. And it sparked worker-to-worker organizing in many non-union workplaces. It also brought new rank-and-file engagement with existing unions, including our longtime partner, Local 192, of the Amalgamated Transit Union, or ATU. So it is a great privilege of mine to introduce our final honoree, Sultana Adams. When I think of Sultana, I think of my grandmother, Evelyn Jean Wilson, who grew up on Garfield Avenue in San Francisco off the Unique Road Sarah exit in Lakeview area. She was a Muni bus driver for 18 years. And when Memo talks about roots, I take a lot of pride in growing up in the Bay Area, and it's workers like my grandmother that I think of when learning about and honoring Sultana's work. Sultana is a bus operator at AC Transit and a rank-and-file member of ATU Local 192. And through her leadership, absolutely. Through her leadership and organizing to win long overdue hazard pay for the 1,800 members of Local 192, Sultana and her co-workers shone a light on the struggles and injustices facing frontline workers.
Thank you, Latrell. They focused attention on nearly $2 billion in federal emergency aid for Bay Area transit that was just sitting idle. And they translated rhetoric about essential workers into material recognition and compensation. But they did much more than that. They pioneered, with public advocates and our partners, a successful experiment in forging bonds of solidarity between frontline essential workers and the communities they serve. Yeah. So in honoring Sultana tonight, we invite you to glimpse the exciting future of Public Advocates' community partnership model. It's a future in which our alliances with labor unions extend not just to the elected leaders and staff with whom we've worked so closely over the years, but actually engage with the rank and file members who are the power of labor. And it's a future in which we build power behind our legal and policy advocacy by promoting demands that unite the people we serve, both as workers in the workplace and as residents in their communities. Yeah. I'm proud to present Sultana Adams with the Voices of Conscience Award for Outstanding Community Leadership. Yeah. Sultana Adams.
I am really humbled, and I'm beyond thankful to Public Advocates for this honor. And I must acknowledge first and foremost that I have a long list of people that helped us win hazard pay for ATU 192. I had an amazing committee who we called the Hazard Pay Coalition. Sitting in the audience, Brandy Donaldson, a member of my committee. There was also Jiminette James, Connie McFarland, Dave Lyons, and the entire committee worked tirelessly and consistently in the trenches to make this happen. Richard Marcantonio and the People's Transit Alliance, our transit riders, worked side by side with us. I have to thank my elected officers, President Robert Coleman, who's here, Vice President Brazil, James Jackson, Eric Darby, Josette James, Patricia Locke, and our entire executive board for standing behind us as we partnered with our riders. Now, as a rank and file member, I recognize that when things don't go right, those elected officers, they take the blame. So the fact that they led our membership in supporting this rank and file endeavor took a lot of trust and courage on their part, and I do not take that for granted. And I have to acknowledge our fellow transit workers in the Bay Area because it really was just a beautiful group effort. Workers at BART, VTA, Golden Gate Transit, and Muni. I'm so thankful that they showed up in every way, especially at our hazard pay rally, to add their voices to the chorus that demanded that our managers follow up on their rhetoric of essential workers being heroes. Yeah. Because we were all called heroes consistently, but treated like anything but. And I also have to give a special thank you to the transit workers at VTA down in San Jose for leading the way and actually having a successful hazard pay rally prior to ours. It was very inspiring. Thank you. And I'm sure every one of us in this room remembers when the shelter in place was ordered. At the very beginning of the pandemic. Now, as transit workers, we remember it because we soon realized that it didn't apply to us. When everyone else was sheltering in place, it was our duty to do the exact opposite. We kept our cities moving every single day, despite a very real fear and possibility of getting COVID-19 and bringing it home to our loved ones. Think about that for a minute. There were no mask mandates, no safety measures, and very little knowledge about the virus itself, except that it could possibly kill us. And to be clear, and please be clear, that all of the safety measures that we even have in place now, including PPE for both ourselves as transit workers as well as our riders, and safety shields for bus operators, are the direct result of workers standing together to demand and let management know that we deserve the right to work in a safe environment. And on the other side of that coin, that our riders deserve to ride in a safe environment. And to add insult to injury, the people that we had to fight to get these safety protections were all working from the comfort of home, meeting with us via Zoom. And their words said, we're essential, but their actions or lack thereof showed us time and time again that they actually thought of us as disposable. As transit workers, partnering with the communities we serve was the most rewarding and enlightening part of this fight. When we were out canvassing our riders, we all quickly realized that most of them assumed that we were already getting hazard pay. And most of them were very angry when they learned otherwise. And when talking to them about the issues they face with public transit, many of them learned that all of their issues were tied directly to a working condition as transit workers that management needs to address. For example, many public transit riders, some of you may be in the room, often complain about late or canceled bus service. We inform them that we are given schedules that are impossible to meet, impossible to stick to with little or no break time, that we have few options for bathrooms while working, and that management wasn't hiring enough transit workers prior to the pandemic. So we were already short workers. This was the magic moment, realizing that we need each other to make public transit better. As transit workers, we have the opportunity to directly serve our communities and have a positive impact on the most vulnerable segments of our population, all while earning a living. It really is a privilege. And this model of worker and rider solidarity makes me extremely hopeful. Continuing to partner with our riders to fight for better working conditions will help our communities actually get the bus service that they deserve, and vice versa. Thank you.